All right, guys, we're doing a dumbbell workout here that we're going to show today. We've done this before, but we're starting with a little bit of heavier weight, which isn't much weight, and then he's going to work down in weight and increase the repetitions. So we're always switching some things up. So here we go, and maybe at the end I'll show you uh, some of the back and shoulder stuff that he'll do. We'll see how time permits. All right. So we do this maybe about once a week. You don't want to. You want to do the predominant work that you do. You want to do with just your body weight. But we do these things. And we just go from one thing to another. We don't give much time going in between these different sets of things that we do. And Joe's hovering around 189 and 194 right now. We hadn't been weighing him every day. We were weighing almost every day, sometimes a couple of times a day. Notice he's only doing one set of the uh, or one exercise in the overall set for triceps because he does so many push-ups and crawls and other things that uh, we don't want to overwork the triceps too much. But right now, he's got almost 16-inch arms, and uh, Joe's pretty big. He's really big for a 16-year-old. Really, really big. A lot of it don't show up on the camera too well, but trust me, he's really big. And this is not a lot of weight. When he's done with his set, I'll ask him how many kilos this is. It's in kilos. And it gets to where he struggles. He can't, on this particular portion where he's not even getting a full rep in, but we go a full extension with the exercise, but we do this for strength. Joe, how many kilos are on here? Each one? 8 kilos. And with the thing in total? 8. So it's just 16 pounds. So you can see, I mean, this is not a lot of weight, and you don't want to really lift heavy. Joe lifts heavy sometimes. He'll do some military barbell presses and squats, and he'll use heavy weight with those particular things. And every once in a while to show his wares and show off when we're in the gym. Maybe once a month or so, he'll bench press. And he's got a very, very strong bench press, but it's imperative to note that I'll give you a great example from my memory. When I was just becoming adult, being a full-fledged adult, Joe Frazier was on the competition of the Stars or Pro Athletes competition, and they were in the weightlifting series, and they had several boxers on there from time to time. I believe Kenny Norton competed in it as well, maybe in 1975. But I caught in, I believe it was 77 or 78, Joe Frazier was on the thing, and it was a yearly or monthly show that would come on, and stars would compete athletically against one another, like movie stars, singers, and then they would have the pro athlete version, and Frazier couldn't. He did terribly underachieving compared to the other professional athletes in the weightlifting portion of it. And Joe Frazier was a strong man. And but at any rate, he got up to 118 pounds, I believe he got over his head, 120. And he went up to 125 and couldn't get it over his head in a standing military press. But Joe does that now with, not easily, but with compared to someone like Joe Frazier with comparable ease, because I'm sure Joe Frazier could have lifted that weight on many given other days. He just got stumped in that competition. And you don't want to be that strong, because that's not boxing. It's you want to have a finely toned, athletic, explosive, enduring, and durable body. But you don't want to have just a lot of muscle mass. Although Joe's got a lot of muscle mass for a 16-year-old. At everything we do, we try to do it that's grueling things. And everything we do is in bunches, where it takes about 3 minutes, where you just keep going, and we increment that to mimic a 3-minute round, hence the push through on all this. Of course, if you were bodybuilding, you would have more recuperation time than what the boxer would have. So I hope I'm explaining this pretty good. I got asked by a gentleman, or not really asked, but just a gentleman was telling us that he was having some difficulty with motivation. And motivation just primarily comes down to, especially, well, really in the beginning, just get there and do what you can. Get to that gym. If you're working out here in the house, like Joe's doing this in the house right now, you just get to the point you're doing it. Be there, be prepared, and just do it. Like the old Nike advertisement, just do it. And you get into a fight through a week of that. You've got to win the battle of the soreness, because when you first start, obviously, if you want to be working hard enough that you are tremendously sore, like the adage, no pain, no gain, and you want to work through that. And then, and after you do that and you just stay with it, second or third week of doing it, you've about got your motivation licked right there. You want to, as best you can, set specific times. If you're working and you work third shift, maybe when you come in the morning from work, uh, you would do a morning workout. Maybe if you work during the day or just whatever time you work after work, you'd want to do it. Maybe you rest a little while, then work. But you can always work things in and get a consistent thereabouts time, and you will be amazed that you won't really need what you consider in the beginning as motivation. Your motivation will turn to different things. You'll be motivated to outdo the last workout you had or outdo what you did the previous week. And but as far as doing it, you'll get yourself conditioned in 1 or 2 weeks to uh, about 2 weeks, and going into your third week or finishing your first month, uh, you'll just be conditioned to work and do it, and you'll get through it. You just got to what gets the motivation possible is the work ethic, the ability to make yourself do it, and then eventually you're on a pattern and you're doing rather well. And that's 90% of most folks. So Joe does so many different things because, of course, we have a boatload of technical stuff, punching things, defense, rope work, road work, footwork. I mean, just so many things that we just can't get everything packed in. So it's terribly difficult. You go through some phases because you can't pack all the physical necessity into one day or even 1 week or 1 month. So some of the things we do, technical work and things like that, have to be uh, scheduled in, and they don't happen every day. But as far as the calisthenics, dumbbell work, things, different things that we do, there's something going on an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, excluding the boxing. The boxing is another hour and a half in it. So it's a lot of work involved to be a great fighter. This is not a easy sport. Football, you can go to football practices, do a little lifting on the side, and be able to perform. In boxing, if you want to really, really be good, it's got to be the boxing life, as they say now. The boxing life. So it's very difficult. But no matter if you try, these are the more simplistic things that we do, that we show. And almost anybody should be able to do 3, 5 repetitions of this and just move up, move up, move up. I always stress on the push-ups. If you can't do one, you keep battling it doing one. You get down on the floor with a full extension, pushed up, and just decline yourself down to the floor slowly. You get yourself conditioned to do just about anything. It's how you go about conditioning yourself and taking the necessary steps and doing it in the way that you can build up. Everything's baby steps when you're starting something new. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. I'm sure Joe would tell you this as he's standing here. I'm sure if he disagrees, he'd stop me, but he would get discouraged in some things the first 3-4 months that he got into boxing. And now I'm the top dog, and if I'm not the top dog, I'll make myself the top dog. So if Joe sees someone doing something better than he does, oh boy, it's a mission then, and it's a mission to outdo them. And that you'll get that competitive nature about yourself. And sparring's another example. Joe got beat up, manhandled first couple of months, and it's how we approached it. And we approached it that I had him fighting a very, very good professional that beat him up. It wasn't every day, but it was every time they sparred, and they were sparring 3 times a week in different groups, and Joe sparred all 3 times. Joe, you need to take the plate off, son. So now nobody takes it in anything. If somebody gets around on him, a lot of times he'll start easy and go hard. A lot of times he'll start hard and go easy, but anybody that's come up on him, even very, very good MMA guys, boxers, adults with a lot of experience, he top dogs it. He's like, nobody's getting the better of me. And now he's the guy that knocks somebody's tooth out. Now he's the guy that breaks a nose. Now he's the guy that fractures ribs. That be him now. He's been through all that, and now it's him. And of course, in grander competition, especially when we get back to the U.S., he's going to run up on some people that can handle him and dish it to him, and that's what we need. That's what he wants. And that is the mark of an athlete that is a professional athlete. We work hard around here. My uncle and my cousin, my uncle played shortstop for the Chicago Cubs, Los Angeles Angels, San Diego Padres, and my cousin, first cousin, played for the Montreal Expos, which are now the Washington Nationals. And we've got countless family members that were starting quarterbacks and NCAA football. We got 2 females that have been great college stars in soccer. We got a couple of basketball players and many, many college and minor league semi-professional baseball players. So we've had it all. And my first cousins, which would be as Joe's father, I believe they'd be his second cousins. They had 4 boys in their family, and each boy won their weight class in the Golden Gloves in our home state in different years. So it was 4 boys, and they all won state Golden Gloves. And that's what we do. The competitiveness is just a family thing. So, and I wished I would have had most of these people around today so Joe could experience and get the talk tos and could have experienced them as I did. As you see now, we're going into 20 minutes just working on arms. And you see what we've done. It ain't doing a set of curls and sitting down for 5 minutes or taking selfies. And really, that's why Joe just completely mows through everybody, because nobody's working. You know, they get out and run. They want to run a mile. Joe will run 2 miles and sprint a mile. A mile in total of sprints with 2 or 3 miles running like it's nothing. And of course it hurts, but you got to push through it. Is that it, son? All right, now that's it for the arms, and I think I'm going to push through and let this video continue. Or do you think I should break it, son? I think I'm going, well, maybe I'll stop this one here. And you know what? I'm going to continue it. Y'all get to see some of this hard work here. He's going to do some more stuff after all this. And of course, after this, he'll do some core work. Then we'll do some other technical things. And later on, we'll have at least a short. We try to put a short out every day that he works out. We'll do a reflex bag or a heavy bag short. So we're going to let him take a little bitty break here. I'm going to talk to you in the meanwhile, so stay put and hang on. Just a second. This is a lot of hard work for a young guy Joe's age, and a lot of guys they're out constantly romping and running, and Joe don't romp and run much at all. And if you are a young guy and you are Joe's been lucky. He's had confidence pretty much all his life, but a lot of guys, as such as myself, go through periods where they don't have a lot of confidence. Most of you know my dad died when I just turned 11 years old, and I went through quite a time there where I did not have any confidence. And working all the time, doing your own thing, having your niche in life and whatever you're going to do, that will give you the confidence you need. That's your thing, your thing. And the confidence that you have, that'll be attributed to anything you've won, like getting in a ring, for example. You do that, or you've done that, and everybody around you will feel what you have conquered. Uh, that's something that's been lost in psychology today. And I'll give you an example with Joe. There's not one girl out here in this neighborhood that has not fell all over herself wanting to be around Joe. Not one teenage girl. As a matter of fact, the adult single girls are the same way with him. And they know, they see the confidence, uh, and those things send vibes out that other people will get. Maybe a job you go to, uh, it could be anything. But the point I'm trying to give you is these vibes, through all your hard work, through all your dedication, even if someone doesn't know what you do, it's just going to reek all over them, your confidence, and which has come from all the hard work you've done, the things that you've achieved, the fears that you have conquered. Uh, and you got to remember, the only difference between a coward and a hero is the coward just made a quick snap decision to come out of the foxhole to do something, and the coward made a quick snap decision to stay scared and in the foxhole. It's not too much more above and beyond that. The hero makes a decision to do something, and the coward doesn't do. I've been around the block many, many times, folks, and looking back on life, it's a lot easier for me to figure out what went on, what was happening. And all the winners, all the achievers, all the uh, uh, gainers were the ones that decided to come out of the hole. And once I decided to come out of the hole, for example, would have been a couple of years after my father passed. I came up out of the foxhole, and I did great. And everybody around me could sense it, even though they didn't realize what I was doing, this was way back in the 70s. And I started boxing and doing taekwondo and playing junior high school football at the same time. And I was doing all these things at the same time. And in no time, everybody was drawn to me. In no time. I started digging in during one of the summers before the school year started. And then I was involved with all this. I was 5 days a week doing football practice, an hour and 30 minutes after school. On the days I could go to the boxing gym or the taekwondo place, I was going. And I was staying active. And God bless my mother, because my mother was the sister of a professional baseball player, a very good, accomplished professional baseball player. And she was his little sister, and she was into for me to achieve in athletics like I'm into for Joe to achieve in athletics and education and all these good things. So if you were young, you remember you got two choices. You want to be the man or the young lady you want to be. You come up out of that foxhole, and if you don't want, if you stay in the foxhole, you'll never be who you want to be, or what you want to be, or achieve what you want to achieve. It's just a quick snap decision. Stick to things for 3 or 4 weeks, or a month, and you'll get acclimated to what you're doing, and then you'll be able to do it, and you'll push forward. Ain't nothing. The only thing special going on around here, and the reason why everybody's scared to fight Joe, and they don't want him in the boxing programs here in this country because they're scared shitless of him. Things like concussion protocol, hospital come up when Joe comes around. And these trainers, but we ain't got nobody to put in there with this man. I'm like, he's a 16-year-old kid. And they're like, no, we ain't got nobody. And that has only transpired from a snap, quick decision. We're going to do something, and actually putting the work in. No more, no less. Ain't no extra special, fairy wand or throwing fairy dust going on around here. We're not doing what Boxing USA did for a year before these past Olympics, putting up dessert and bacon seminars on Boxing USA. We were working the whole time. And that's probably the main reason why Joe will win a gold medal in Los Angeles, California, in these next Olympics that come up. There's no playing around going on here. A lot of work. The motivation is already conditioned into him. And I thank God every day. Always something going on here. A lot of work. I'm probably gonna cut it off soon here, but this is what goes on around here every single day. And then gym time comes. And if he can do it, you can do it. So, young man, if you're out there, you're in trouble, you're getting into things you shouldn't, make the snap decision to get yourself out of it. And if you don't have no friends for a while, so be it. Then you just darn well don't have no friends for a while. Get yourself cleaned up, get yourself disciplined, and only you can do that for yourself. And if I could do it back in the 70s with the trouble and the anguish and the heartache I was going through, and Joe can do it, then you can do it too. You just have to make the decision to do it. So we love all of you. We hope the good Lord blesses our Christian brothers and sisters. I'll finish this like I finish most or all of the videos, or try to. Remember this: as imperfect as we are and as fouled up as we are, Christ is king up in our house.